Memory den's great. Just don't get hooked like old Kent. Poor bastard's practically stuck in the past.
You ever listen to the Silver Shroud? You suit up and clean the streets. Together we can make a real difference.
I'm in, Kent.
That's just great!
Peace, sister.
Calling all Silver Shroud fans. I got an urgent mission. If you're a true fan, stop by the Memory Den and to talk to Kent Conley. The Silver Shroud needs you.
You know who kicked the rules out of Diamond City, right? Radio. Me and McDonough. They'll get it.
When evil walks the streets of Boston, one man lurks in the shadows, shielding the innocent, judging the guilty. That guardian is the Silver Shroud. Today's episode, a slaying in Scully Square.
You got the memory pod loaded up? Oh, you're not Irma.
Excuse me.
Good neighbor's crazy. Thefts, murders, worse. Sometimes you just gotta escape a little to make it through the day.
Escape? What do you mean?
Reliving old memories. Like Thanksgiving, 2071.
I guess.
Mom made a 12-pound turkey. And then we all listened to the Silver Shroud vs. Captain Cosmos. Even Pa was there.
I hear you. It's a mess out there.
It's rough in the best of days. But now, you ever listen to the Silver Shroud? That's what we need. No matter how bleak things got, he saved the day.
I haven't listened to the show.
You should. They're the best detective stories in the whole world.
That sounds familiar.
You'd remember him if you heard his show. They're the best detective shows in the whole world.
What can you tell me about the Shroud?
He's from the radio shows. I've listened to all 419 episodes. And the holiday special. He's the best. Better than Grognak and Man to Man combined.
My family and I used to listen to every new episode.
You mean when they first aired? How? The last broadcast was hundreds of years ago.
So, I'm a time traveler. I just got back from visiting George Washington.
Now you're just playing with me. Though that would be pretty neat. You know what would be even neater?
I don't want to get into it.
Sorry, but you know the show. Best detective stories in the world.
Aren't there other survivors from that time?
Oh, sure. There were a lot of us schools that lived back then, but none of us looked as good as you. Are you really that old?
I was in cryogenic storage for a long time. I only just woke up.
Oh man, that's amazing! You're just like Mr. Abominable from episode 83.
Who's Mr. Abominable?
He was a caveman, got frozen in an iceberg from prehistoric times. When they thawed him out, he went on a rampage. It took the Shroud and Man to Man combined to take him down.
Yeah, something like that. You know, you should really speak plain English.
It's just that the show, well, it helped me through some pretty tough times, you know?
Wasn't he a caveman?
Yeah, that's the one. They found him in an iceberg off the harbor. Boy, if you just woke up. The world these days must take some getting used to.
That's an understatement.
Things may look bad, but we gotta try to make it better. I got a question for you.
How did you get used to everything?
Mainly I focused on survival. It got real bad after the bombs fell. For a long while, I tried not to think of the good old days. Just too painful. But it's all we got now. So we gotta try and make it better. I got a question for you.
It seems like people are finally rebuilding and recovering from the nuclear war.
Maybe in some parts, like Diamond City, but over here, we got a ways to go.
This whole Commonwealth is a nightmare.
Yeah, there's so much crime and violence. What we need is a real hero. I got a question for you. What if the Silver Shroud was real? With his black trench coat and gleaming silver submachine gun? I got a plan to bring him to life. So he can fight bad guys and give the rest of us a symbol of something better.
Good on you for trying to make the world better.
This has to be a joke. Tell me this is a joke.
I just have to do something, you know?
Sure, Kent. You have a plan, all right.
I know how it sounds.
You know you're completely nuts, right?
Yeah, that about says it all.
Sadly, that's not the first time I've heard that.
What plan?
I've built my own custom machine gun, even better than the one in the show. But to make this work, I still need the most important piece. The genuine Silver Shroud costume herself. And they actually got one here in Boston. They made it for the TV show. Will you help?
Do you really need the costume?
With the gun, I'm just another armed hooligan. But if the Silver Shroud came to life and helped people, it would give everyone hope.
I might do it, if you make it worth my while.
I can give you some caps up front. Just promise you'll help me.
I'll get the costume for you.
You're gonna do this? For real? Before the bombs fell, they were filming the Silver Shroud pilot over at Hubris Comics. So that's where you'll find it. You're the best.
Wow. Oh, we're not going to need that stuff anymore. Right up my nose. Bring it on! Shows. I wish I could have seen them.
I got your costume, Kent. And some other goodies you might like.
There she is, pretty as the posters. The Silver Shroud costume herself. And memorabilia, too? You're something else. Together with my gun, everything's all set.
What are you planning next?
I'm still working that out. Some details I want to run by you. Well, after you give me the costume, that is.
First the reward, then I'll give you the costume.
Here. I wasn't gonna welsh on our deal. After all these years, the Silver Shroud is born again. But there's just one problem. I'm just not Silver Shroud material. I could be Rhett Reinhardt, or his butler, Jarvie Blake. But the Shroud is strong, capable.
That's the first sane thing you've said.
Yeah, but I do have a better idea who should wear it. You up for being the Silver Shroud? You already got your own origin story and everything. What with the Cryo Vault and all.
Why me?
You helped me out when everyone else just laughed at me. And you're from the olden days, just like me. You know how much things have fallen, how much we gotta fight for, to make the place better. So you win?
If I go along with this, I could use a little extra.
If it'll get you to help, sure. I may be able to scrounge up a couple of things.
I'm not dressing up in tights, pal.
It's not like I'm asking you to dress up as Grognek the Barbarian. I'll be here if you change your mind.
Kent.
You ready to help? The bad guys aren't gonna defeat themselves. Good neighbor needs the Silver Shroud.
What's your plan exactly?
You suit up and clean the streets. Together we can make a real difference. You'll see. So you in?
I'm in, Kent.
That's just great! The costume and gun are yours. So you patrol Good Neighbor's streets, and I'll call in any crimes on my radio station. Here's some calling cards, I guess. When you dispatch justice, leave them behind. That way, everyone knows the Silver Shroud has returned. Time to fight crime!
Nice to be on the open road. Good Neighbor was starting to wear out its welcome.
What makes you say that?
Good Neighbor was a good place to look for work, but a crappy place to hang your hat.
Never lived there, so I wouldn't know.
You're better off for it. Trust me.
Sounds like you had a rough time of it back there.
Rough? That's putting it mildly. Let's put it this way. Can't get much rest when you're sleeping with one eye open. Still, it was the best place for me to set up shop. Diamond City's goons would have run me out of town, and wandering the Commonwealth alone isn't the brightest plan when you're hard up for caps.
Setting up shop? What do you mean?
I needed somewhere to hang out so that people could find me when they required my services. The folks in Good Neighbor tended to not ask too many questions, which suited my needs. So, I made a deal with Hancock and started waiting for the caps to roll in.
In times like these, caps make little sense.
They might make little sense to you, but right now, I need every cap I can get.
Caps aren't worth risking your life.
Easy for you to say. But right now, I need every cap I can get.
Caps are pretty important.
You're goddamn right they are. Right now, I need every cap I can get.
Are caps really that important to you?
I don't have much of a choice.
I'm not paying you a single cap more than we agreed.
I'm not trying to gouge you for more caps.
Sounds pretty bad.
I guess you could say that.
I hope you aren't in trouble.
No, not really. But, I don't usually go around sharing stuff like this, but you've been pretty straight with me, so I'm gonna be straight with you. It's those two those two idiots you saw me talking to at the third rail. Winlock and Barnes. They've been hounding me for months, and it's been driving off clients. No one wants to touch me once they learn I used to run with the Gunners. And I figured if I could get enough caps together, maybe I could buy them out.
How many caps do you need?
I'm not sure. Honestly, that's not even what concerns me the most. I'm wondering how I'm going to pull it off.
Your plan seems to make sense.
Well, it might be, but even if I round up enough caps, I'm not sure how I'm going to pull it off.
I wouldn't trust those guys, even if you paid them off.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Why not just kill them and be done with it?
If it was that simple, I would have done it already. Winlock and Barnes have a small army of gunners with them at all times. They might decide to just keep the caps and put a bullet in my head for good measure. If I set up a place to meet them, I'm sure they'd roll in with everyone they've got. Unless Maybe you and I could pay them a little visit and put an end to them before they realize what's going on. Before you get that look on your face, let me just say that I wouldn't even be asking if I didn't trust you.
Is there any other way to handle this?
If there was, I would have done it already. To be honest, even if they took the money, there's no guarantee they wouldn't change their minds later. Then I'd be completely broke and on the run.
I don't know. This sounds dangerous.
If I didn't think you could handle it, I wouldn't have asked.
I'm not sure. Let me think about it.
Yeah, I figured this might throw you for a loop.
If you need my help, I'm there.
Wow, I don't know what to say. Truth is, I haven't been able to rely on anyone since I was a kid. Everyone I've met has either tried to rip me off or plant a knife in my back. But you're different. We see eye to eye on almost everything. And I have a funny feeling you actually care about what happens to me. That's why I asked for your help. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make this easy on you. If you feel like helping me with this, head over to the Mass Pike interchange and we'll take them down. If you don't, I'm not going to hold it against you. Either way, thanks for hearing me out. It's nice to know that you care. Starting to have fun.
Hey,
Well, this should send a message to the gunners to stay off my back.
you aren't afraid the gunners will retaliate?
The way these lunatics act, you'd think they would. But I know better.
I don't know. They just lost two of their best men.
There's nothing to worry about.
Seems to me like you've made them angrier at you.
Trust me. I know them well.
I'm sure they heard you loud and clear.
Definitely. For the gunners, it's always about the bottom line. And they just lost this entire way station, and that cost them big. Besides, they have no way of knowing I was involved. Anyway, I guess I owe you a favor now. After all, you hired me, but I'm the one that dragged you out here.
A favor, huh? Can I decide later?
Well, I don't like these things hanging over my head.
You could give me back those caps I paid you.
I guess that's fair. After all, you took some of the risk.
You don't owe me. You clearly needed the help.
Sure, but I like everything to remain nice and even. And you're one up on me.
Well, I wasn't about to let you have all this fun alone.
Glad you enjoyed it. Tell you what, I'm going to give you back the caps you paid me in Good Neighbor. I'll still stick with you because that was part of the original deal, but now we're even. There you go. I guess we're done here. Lead on, boss. Come on, just leave it.